greatest army in history surrounded Jerusalem. 185,000 killers, iron chariots, siege towers that scraped the sky, and one king, alone in a temple, begging for a miracle. They came like a flood, a sea of warriors, armor glinting under the moonlight, voices low with laughter and bloodlust. 185,000 men, the very best of the Assyrian war machine, giants among nations. Cities trembled at their name. They had conquered kingdoms, burned temples, shattered walls, and now they were here. The ancient Near East was a chessboard of empires. Kings rose, nations fell, and blood watered the sands. But in the year 701 BCE, the world witnessed a horror unlike any other, and a miracle that defied the laws of war. The Assyrian Empire was a colossus. Its armies were not soldiers. They were a force of nature. Swords sharpened on the bones of kings, siege engines that gnawed through city walls like termites. And at its head, Sennacherib, the scourge of nations, a man who carved his name into history with fire and slaughter. His latest prize, Jerusalem, the jewel of Judah, the last free city. But this was no ordinary conquest. Sennacherib did not come for gold or slaves. He came to erase a god, to prove that the deity of this tiny mountain kingdom, Yahweh, was as hollow as the idols of Babylon. He sent a message to King Hezekiah, a taunt etched on clay. Do not let your God in whom you trust deceive you. No god of any nation has ever delivered his people from my hand. The Assyrian camp sprawled across the valley, 185,000 warriors. The stench of their cook fires choked the air. The laughter of drunk soldiers echoed like hyenas. They sharpened blades. They gambled with dice made from the finger bones of their enemies. They were ready. I remember the scent of oil and steel in the wind, the thick tension like a drumbeat before war. You didn't have to see them to feel their presence. The earth itself groaned under their boots. We saw them from the walls, rows upon rows of tents, their fires burning like fallen stars. And then came the message, arrogant, cold, delivered by Rabshakeh, the Assyrian mouthpiece, a serpent with a soldier's armor. He stood at the foot of our wall, voice like a dagger dipped in poison. Do not let your God deceive you, he said. Look around you. Which nation has been saved from our hands? Your God is no different. Those words still sting. Not because they hurt, but because they dared. But inside Jerusalem's walls, silence. Not the silence of despair, the silence of a held breath. King Hezekiah, a man of tempered steel, climbed the steps of Solomon's temple. In his hands, Sennacherib's letter. Not a plea for mercy, a declaration of war against heaven itself. Hezekiah did not rally archers. He did not pour boiling oil. He unrolled the blasphemous scroll before the Ark of the Covenant and spoke not to men, but to the void, to the unseen. Lord, bend your ear. These are not words against me. They are arrows shot at your throne. Prove to the world that you alone are God. The prophet Isaiah, a man who tasted coal from the lips of angels, received the answer. Tell your king, the Assyrians will not set foot in this city. He will not loose a single arrow, for I will defend Jerusalem, and the world will know my hand. Sennacherib laughed when he heard it. His generals roared, their God will save them. Let him try. That night, the Assyrians feasted. They drank wine from skulls. They sang hymns to Nisroch, their winged god of war. They did not notice the temperature drop. They did not see the stars blink out, one by one. Midnight. A wind slithered through the camp. Not a wind, a presence, older than empires, older than time. It moved like a shadow between tents. Where it passed, life evaporated. A soldier, mid-laugh, froze, his grin still etched in rigor mortis. A sentry's torch hissed and died in his hand. Horses whimpered and tore at their ropes. No screams, no battle cries, just the soft thud of bodies hitting dust. By dawn, the truth was undeniable. Commander Asher, a brute who'd once skinned a Phoenician prince alive, stumbled through the camp. He kicked a soldier. No response. He grabbed another by the collar. Lifeless eyes stared back. Asher's scream tore through the valley. "Sorcery! The gods have abandoned us!" Panic spread like a plague. Men clawed at their own faces. Others ran mad into the desert, pursued by phantoms only they could see. The few who survived spoke of a shape in the darkness, a thing with too many wings and eyes like dying suns. It was the angel of the Lord, not a savior, a reaper. Morning light revealed 185,000 corpses. No wounds, no blood, just stillness. Ravens circled but would not land. Even carrion eaters feared to touch what heaven had cursed. In Jerusalem, a boy named Micah climbed the watchtower, sling in hand, ready to die fighting. What he saw stole his breath. Farther, the valley, a sea of the dead. No battle, no glory. Divine wrath, cold and efficient. Halfway back to Nineveh, Sennacherib received the news in a tent, stinking of fear. His hands shook, his voice cracked. Retreat, now. But disgrace followed him home. His sons, raised on his cruelty, ambushed him as he prayed to Nisroch. The statue watched, indifferent as his blood pooled at its feet. The empire unraveled. Within decades, Nineveh itself would be ash. This was no myth. Sennacherib's prism, buried for millennia, boasts of trapping Hezekiah like a bird in a cage. But chiseled beneath the propaganda, archaeologists found cracks in the stone, scratched out lines, whispers of a plague, a curse. The truth was too terrifying even for kings. Hezekiah's reign faded. Jerusalem fell, rose, fell again. But the lesson remained. There are weapons beyond swords, armies beyond the flesh. The Assyrians worshipped war, and war consumed them. Hezekiah worshipped the unseen, and the unseen rewrote history. Today, the valley sleeps. Farmers till soil that once drank the blood of empires. But sometimes, when the wind howls just right, you can almost hear it, the rustle of wings. A reminder, the same God who silenced 185,000 men with a whisper is still listening. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.